Well, that was just bonkers. I mean, it's difficult to know where to start. We had quotes. I'll quote the previous member who just spoke from the opposition. Ancient societies sacrificed virgins, which apparently is the equivalent of acting on climate change. Why do you pretend weather patterns have become more threatening? Oh, well, I don't know, just because they have. Because since the 1980s we've seen an 80% increase in destructive climate-related weather events. I don't know. Science, bye-bye cooker, see you later. That was like standing on the Mulgrave polling booth in the Victorian election on Saturday. I mean, honestly, that was just completely bonkers. I'm going to video clip that bloke and advertise him every day into Victoria, and we might win even more seats. I mean, I don't think he noticed what happened to Josh Frydenberg and Katie Allen, the Teals, the whole climate emergency. I mean, who knows? This is a nasty, bizarre little motion, Deputy Speaker. It's like a series of Sky News talking points and conspiracy theories vomited onto the parliamentary notice paper. As the previous speaker, the member for Fremantle, said, it's a cloud of bull dust, to quote him. It's wrong, it's false, it's nonsensical and it's misinformation. But let's cut the rubbish. Let's call out in plain English what they're actually trying to say with all their fancy words that they're bandying about. They're trying to say the government are a bunch of woke sellouts because they believe in climate change and they just signed a sneaky globalist agreement to give trillions of dollars to China, a bunch of other poor countries where coloured people live. And please be very angry because the government didn't splash cash in the budget like we did and push up interest rates. I mean, that's what it boils down to. It's complete nonsense. All that's missing are chemtrails, anti-vax mandates, gender theory, globalism. You go and talk to your Liberal Party mates in Victoria and see how well that went on the weekend. What I heard then is exactly the kind of nonsense that the Victorian Liberal Party are on about, who just got smashed, member for Fairfax. Now, some have perhaps unkindly compared the member for Fairfax to Mr Sheen, an unfortunate resemblance. Well, Mr Sheen, as the saying goes, cleans, shines and protects. The member for Fairfax smears, sullies and discredits with this motion. The good thing, though, is, Deputy Speaker, is it's so broad, so I can make a few points in response. Member for Fairfax, science is real, climate change is real, and we need to actually do something about that. Australia can't fix the problem alone because we share the climate with other humans in other countries. So we need to work together with other countries. That's why we go to COP27, to talk about what we could do together. And the Loss and Damage Fund is about developed countries helping developing countries. It's not about reparations and compensation. Even if you don't care, though, about the increase in natural disasters, even if you don't care, member for Fairfax, that more than 90% of deaths, that's right, other human beings dying, the empathy bypass over there, I don't think that'd register. They all happen in developing countries. Even if you don't care about the fate that awaits the poorest on the planet from runaway climate change for their societies and economies, it's in Australia's national interest to collaborate, because we are the developed country most exposed in the world to climate change. It's Australians that are going to bear the brunt of runaway bushfires, of out-of-control floods, of desertification, of salinity creeping across our continent. It's Australia, though, that has the most to gain of any developed country in a zero-carbon world. We have the best resources. We can bring back manufacturing onshore, member for Fairfax, in this zero-carbon world, and it's critical for a stable region. Let's be blunt. It's cheaper and better to provide aid and assistance to other countries to manage their transition than it is to commit military bases and combat failed states on our doorstep. You want to talk about security? That's a security threat. So instead of carping and spreading your conspiracy theories via the National Parliament, I'd encourage the opposition to take this seriously, unlike the Victorian Liberals. An agreement is not a contract to pay money. Any funding into the Loss and Damage Fund will be a matter for future negotiations between parties, as you've been told, and your scare campaign about Labor giving money to China, as you well know, is nonsense. You're relying on a list from 1992 of countries that were then considered developing countries. As you well know, because you've been told, No money is going into that fund until there's a new list of developing countries. And if you think that this country is going to give money to China, you're bonkers. As bonkers as your colleague who spoke before, and no doubt those that are going to come after you. I mean, you can see them sitting around in tactics. I know. We'll whip up a scare campaign with the Chinese
the member's
community.
time has expired.
Just
the question is
you are.
the question is that the order. The member's time has expired.